As cliché as it sounds, the threat of viruses and malware goes back to 1971. This was the beginning of our modern computer world. A virus is a self-replicating string of code that causes destruction to the infected system. Most of the time, a virus is designed to corrupt a computer system and all the data that it holds. When viruses were created, they were to serve a relatively innocent purpose. Its creators wanted to see if computers were capable of passing along self-replicating computer data, essentially seeing if a computer would be able to pass on its data to a new version of itself, or at least that's what the goal was. This was accomplished with a program called the Creeper, which wasn't able to replicate itself, but was able to pass itself on from system to system, leaving only the message, "I'm the Creeper, catch me if you can." In order to solve this little problem, someone created another program called the Reaper, which was used to get rid of the Creeper. It worked sort of as an early antivirus software. The first serious virus, the Morris worm, was created in 1988 as a mental exercise. However, with the rise of the internet, it caught the media's attention because it spread quickly and caused damages ranging anywhere from $100,000 to $10 million lost in productivity that day. In other words, it spread just like the viruses do today, via the internet. In our modern internet-dominated world, viruses have taken different forms. Most viruses are obtained from the internet, usually from spam email attachments disguised as PDFs or Word documents, and once opened, the virus spreads into one's files and begins to corrupt the computer quickly. These viruses are called macroviruses and are still the most popular with hackers today. There's also malware, which encompasses all types of malicious software, including viruses, and are divided into several categories. First, there are worms. These infect computers throughout a system, and they do so by exploiting weaknesses in said computer network. These replicate and spread rather quickly. Next is ransomware, which, as the name suggests, demands that victims pay a ransom to regain access to their computer and their entire system. Sometimes, hackers just get away with the money and leave victims with infected computers. No resolve. Scareware is something a lot of computer users have encountered while browsing the internet. These show up as pop-ups with flashing backgrounds informing users that their computers have been infected and that the only way to get rid of the virus is to buy whatever antivirus program they're selling. They ask them to enter their credit card information, and they usually do this just to steal the financial information and leave the user with a worthless piece of software that's going to fix nothing. Adware and spyware. Adware pushes unwanted advertisements at people, and spyware secretly collects information from the user. Spyware, as the name suggests, spies on what the user does online. It records their keystrokes and checks for credit card information and bank account numbers. This kind of spyware is called a keylogger because it detects these keystrokes automatically and sends them to the hacker. In other words, they're programmed to seek out bank account information and credit card numbers to send to the original hacker. Fileless malware is not like traditional malware at all. It does not hide on your hard drive as a physical file, but rather this kind of malware hides in your system memory, which is also known as your RAM. There, it can't trigger anti-malware software as it scans for threats. So, keeping all this in mind, how do you protect yourself against from having your files, your financial information, and even your identity stolen online? The most essential thing you can do is install antivirus software on your computer. A lot of these programs can be found online for free. Some of the safest and most popular include Avast Antivirus, AVG Antivirus, Kaspersky, and Bitdefender. They're relatively small programs that won't take up a lot of space on your computer, and again, they're free, which is the best part. A lot of these programs also offer paid versions that offer more features than their free counterparts. You can also block pop-up ads on your browser so that you're not fooled into buying some fake antivirus software that will result in you having your credit card information stolen. This is also a good idea to activate for a family member who may not be as computer savvy as you are. It will save them a world of pain. Something essential one can also do to help protect oneself from viruses is exercise cautions with the links that we click. We may get an email with a file that looks legitimate, and you may be tempted to click it because the sender seems legitimate. Hey, it might be Amazon and it might be Google. You might be expecting a package or an email for customer support. But for whatever reason, there still may be doubt in your mind about the sender. The best course of action here is to not click the file till you see who the sender actually is. On most email clients, all one has to do is hover the cursor over the email to see the email address from where it came. In our example, if it doesn't read from @Amazon or @Google, then we can probably assume that the sender is not legitimately them. A few more things one can do to protect oneself when online are to change passwords consistently or to use different passwords for everything. A lot of people are in the habit of using the same password for everything, and so it's probably a good idea to use different passwords for different websites. Keep your software updated, as updates include security updates and buffs to keep you and your system safe. Back your data up so in case you are attacked, you have a restore point from which to recover your files, and all will not be lost. Use anti-spyware tools to combat spyware attacks. Ultimately, it's up to you how you decide to protect yourself and how you browse the internet. Intelligent internet browsing and wise internet choices will ultimately be the best things to protect your system. So from now on, just be sure to browse the internet with care.